Today we're taking a look at 10 upcoming roguelike games that we can't wait to get our hands on and sink some hours into. Let's kick the list off at number 10, we got Pennyblood Hellbound. In this one, we'll be taking on a gothic horror-themed 1920s, skating around on blood and brawling with baddies. This is actually a companion game for Pennyblood, a JRPG releasing in 2025. You'll be unlocking new skills, power-ups, and enhancements as you battle through stages, gearing up to take on bosses. So the weird side of this game is your goal is to spill as much blood as possible, which will enable you to skate around and use momentum-based combos. Blood will also act as the reward system, so the closer you are to a Quentin Tarantino movie, the better. It looks to have a pretty solid narrative focus. We'll have 6 characters to play from, as well as 2-player co-op. As of right now, it looks like it's only coming out on PC. We are looking at an early access launch on Steam in February, with full release in summer 2024. At number 9, we got 33 Immortals. When I first saw this game announced, I was definitely super excited. I did think to myself, I'm gonna need a few more friends, as you're gonna be taking on God's Judgment with 32 other players. You'll be playing a damned soul out there seeking redemption and eternal life, engaging in battles with hordes of monsters and some massive sized bosses as you deal with God's wrath. The game will focus on a cooperation between a massive team of 33, so optimizing your skills and tactical gameplay will come in key. The roguelite mechanic will come in the form of randomized foes, challenges, and rewards, picking between a plethora of different weapons that will be empowered by sins and virtues. You'll have access to hundreds of upgrade options, and split between 33 players, it should lead to some amazing replayability. This being developed by Thunder Lotus, the devs behind Spiritfarer, Jotun, Sundered, looks very promising and for sure the most ambitious game on our list today. No release date yet other than 2024, but we'll be able to pick it up on Epic or Xbox Game Store for PC or Xbox. At number 8, we have Ants Took My Eyeball. I'm a sucker for side-scrolling pixel art style, and this one for sure delivers on that. We'll be delving into an anthill with up to 4 players cooperatively to, well, retrieve our eyeball. I will say, if you're not a fan of creepy crawlers, this one might be a pass for you. We've got a procedurally generated world, so each run will feel fresh. We'll be taking on hordes of insects and bosses with tons of options for melee weapons and guns. We'll also have gadgets and trinkets to help take on harder enemies. You'll be able to upgrade your weapons and sell equipment along the way. You can unlock permanent upgrades for your base in the form of furniture to give you a leg up on your next run, with the potential for more permanent upgrades the further in the anthill you go. So if you're a fan of that fast-paced action with a healthy amount of RNG, this game is looking promising. Slated for a 2024 release on Steam, you can actually play a demo of it right now there. Definitely right up my alley, so I'll be picking it up for sure. At number 7, we got Black Dragon Mage. You either love or hate the survival type roguelite genre. I for one put way too many hours in all of them. Black Dragon Mage looks to be another fun contender with the 16-bit art style, a ton of upgrades, and the ability to become completely overpowered. This one's taken some love from some other games, some ARPG styles, as well as some skills that are Bomberman type. You'll be able to hatch a dragon and ride it into battle as you take on hordes of demons, offering plenty of weapon variety types, upgrades with many of them being manually aimed and some not. True to the Bullet Heaven style, it's not reinventing the wheel here, but it seems like a fun game to put some time into. You can catch a demo on Steam right now with a full launch in March 2024 on Steam. At 6, we got Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Yet another Bullet Heaven Survivor game, but definitely the most hype one coming up. Based off the studio's previous team-based mining game Deep Rock Galactic, which if you haven't heard of, you must be living under a rock. Jokes aside, this one's adding some flair to the genre, with a fully destructible environment that you'll have to mine through as you search for upgrades. We'll also be seeing plenty of familiar enemies and weapons from the first game with many new options. You'll be dropped off in a pod, have to complete missions, make it back to the pod to extract with your loot. There'll be 4 classes to choose from, tons of weapons, enemy types, 3 biomes to start, and of course tons of upgrades to diversify each build. You can grab Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on Steam February 14th. At number 5, we have Dross. It's a first-person shooter roguelike with a procedurally generated world, where you'll be taking on alien bugs in an overrun facility. Your goal will be to uncover the secrets of the facility and figure out why you ended up there in the first place. You'll be taking on these aliens with an assortment of guns, acquiring upgrades in the form of suit upgrades, weapon upgrades, new tools, explosives. The layout on every playthrough will be different, which makes no 2 runs the same. I'm definitely getting some Doom vibes here, and I'm definitely ready to blow up some aliens. It's for sure an interesting take on the genre, as we don't see many FPS-based shooter roguelikes. If you are interested in Dross, they have a demo up on Steam with a Q1 2024 planned for a full release. And at number 4, we have Rogue Soulstone. It's a third-person hack-and-slash roguelike based off the studio's previous game, Soulstone Survivors. I sunk many hours into Soulstone Survivors with its deep customization and variety of builds, and it looks like they're porting over most of that style just to a third-person perspective. You'll have the option between 4 classes at the start, offering diverse playstyles as you take on hordes of enemies and bosses. You'll be unlocking new skills, upgrades of course, and using gems you get each run that'll unlock permanent characters as well as upgrades and allocating them to a skill tree as well. For me, if they can catch a glimmer of what made Soulstone Survivor so good, I'm sure this will be worth picking up. If anything, it's adding a fresh perspective. As of right now, there's no release date. We're looking for 2024, but you can wishlist it on Steam. Next up at number 3, we have Stormedge. First thing I'm going to say is I'm getting a lot of Wizards of Legends vibes here, which is another absolute gem of a roguelike. Though here, we'll be playing as a hero, taking on baddies in a fast-paced action combat. They'll be emphasizing dodging as well as using positional skills and traps to take down the enemies. Those same traps, though, can damage yourself. So positioning will play a major key in this one. You'll be able to customize your hero through trainers as well as the Relic Workshop, making for a varied gameplay between runs. I'm always a huge fan of pixel art style as well as the ability to play split-screen co-op, as it seems to be a dying breed these days. You can actually get your hands on Stormedge Wind of Change right now on Steam for free, which is the first chapter in the Stormedge series. Stormedge will be launching later this year on Switch and PC. At number 2, we have Streets of Rogue 2, a sequel to the 2019 very much loved Streets of Rogue. This isn't going to be the standard sequel of more of the same thing. They're actually taking it to the open world sandbox style. The game's got a fresh new paint job with updated graphics. In Streets of Rogue 2, we'll be paving our own path with the goal of overtaking a corrupt president. In the same gameplay as Streets of Rogue 1, you can go at this game however you want to. With tons of unique characters, you'll be able to start a zombie apocalypse, hire a mercenary army, really anything you can think of. With a procedurally generated open world 10,000 times the size of a level from the first game, yes, I said 10,000, there's tons of stuff to do, fully destructible environment to wreak havoc on. It's still keeping its roguelike antics, but on a much larger scale with co-op, online, and couch co-op. I can't wait to grab this one. Currently set for a 2024 release and available on every platform. And of course, at number 1, it wouldn't be a roguelike list without it, Hades 2. The sequel to Hades, which immediately had a cult following, and for good reason. If you haven't played it yet, it's a must-play in the genre. Hades 2 is looking to bring back the same action combat and upgrade systems we loved about the first one, but will be playing as an immortal princess of the underworld, diving back into the Greek mythology and exploring bigger, deeper mythical world. There will be more gods, more monsters, and of course, more bosses. A familiar upgrade system with some new mechanics. As long as they give us more of what Hades was, I'm sure I'll be grinding this for hours. It's set to launch on every platform in 2024 with no hard release date yet, but we'll keep you up to date on any news. There are tons of other roguelites on the horizon that I didn't include in this list that we'll be checking out and showing off. Let us know what you're most hyped for in the comments.